everybody. Welcome back to Horizon Zero Dawn. We have a lot. We got some answers, kind of. We know a little bit more about Olin's situation. We know kind of how he got, let's say, chosen for this task that he has had to undergo. We've given him a second chance because, I mean, they're using his family against him. That's a tough call. It is now nighttime. We're also going to go and chat with Aaron because we found out that his sister may have actually been kidnapped instead of killed. So this is a pretty big game changer. But where is she? Why did they do this? And who took her? All question marks. All we know is she went in the middle of the night. Seems like to investigate this site where something was happening, and then they used some type of strange weapon that nobody's seen before to like paralyze everybody. They couldn't fight back, and that's why we think she's captured. So yeah, we are gonna go and talk to, I believe his name is Ravon. Yeah, we got to talk to Ravon about this robbery. It's pretty close by, and then we'll be good to go. Remember this guy's house?
A man named Nassan came to see me, and we came to an arrangement.
Oh, Nassan came.
I think many in Sunfall will benefit from it. All this from a stolen sword. As they say, follow the shadow, and you'll find a flame.
Okay. Well, that was quick. You're welcome for helping you, by the way. I noticed that people are not very thankful, I find. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but we do a lot of work around here, and let's just say that I'm feeling a little bit underappreciated. We need to get some fox bone. We need to get some boar skin, and you know, that's probably the main things. Echo shells, maybe. Could do that. Fox bone and boar skin, though, those are pretty important. I betcha, if I was a betting man, we could probably find, would it be hunting goods, machine resources, eclectic collectibles? I wonder if hunting goods, conveniently located right next to us, would actually sell some of this stuff. Oh, he sells, okay, seems like everybody's selling these fast travel packs. Good for you guys, I guess. But I don't think they're gonna have any of these skins. I had thought that one of the merchants may have this, but I think I'm wrong. I think I could be wrong. Mystery boxes, flower collectibles, machine resources. So that guy you could buy machine parts, but like animal pelts and things like that, less. So, okay, we're gonna have to do those the old-fashioned way, I think. Let's go and talk to Aaron here, see if he's put anything else together that could give us some information. Ooh, hello. The Mad Sun King. It's a pamphlet. The reign of the Mad Sun King. Be warned, reader, this is a true account of the Mad Sun King Jiran. This is the previous guy. These glyphs are blotted in blood. Truly, the savageries committed can barely be recounted, so pray to the cleansing sun for yourself and the teller of these tales. You will learn of the grievous wounds inflicted on foreign lands in the reaping of sacrifice, the Red Raids. For the Mad Sun King would order a whole generation cut from each village, so they might more willingly supply sacrifices and be harder pressed to field fighting men on the next raid. The Utaru, who sought to appease with gifts of grain, were slaughtered in such number that upon the following harvest, the maize grew black and blue with the blood of the dead. Against the Oseram, the terror of the sun piled the corpses of their fallen up to the walls of their villages so his kestrels might clamber upon the dead to enter. And in the valley of the barbarian Nora, terrors of the savage east, such savagery ensued that the trees were drooped, with corpses hung as grim warnings. Should you wish to read of the Mad King's depredations against his own people, your curiosity will not go unsated. Within are accounts of the deaths of those sentenced to the Sun Ring, listed in such detail you might think it reported by their own chattering skulls once piled outside the city gates. nor will you find a more harrowing account of this massacre of the Hunter's Lodge. Ooh. Reading these accounts, you might imagine yourself among its brave hawks as they fought to the last, bloodying the sand from dawn till dusk. Or perhaps in the crowds as the loosed behemoths careened through the stands with the crashing of wood and bone. All this crazed bloodletting did the mad Sun King take in with his pitiless gaze. Indeed, he would not even look away from the goring of his own son in that ring of death. Yes, fair-haired Kadaman of the Dawn's Rising, so degraded and doomed for the crime of standing against his father. Such a true and complete account of the mad Sun King Jiran's miseries could not be found in the history of annals, or heard from the reckoners of the Sun Priest. It is with a heavy heart that I scribe these events, leaving out no shocking detail, but my debt is to history and to you, brave reader. And that is just the table of contents. So imagine how terrible this guy actually is. Oh no. That is a really bad time for that to be happening. Problem resolved. I love that.
A little sweat and hard work never hurt anyone. We all have our place.
Murad, where's Erend?
Greetings, Aloy. I am known as Blameless
Blameless?
Murad. Please come with me. You're needed for an important consultation.
What do you mean? Where's Erend?
He's inside, attending the Sun King, where we should be without further delay. Follow me, please.
Okay.
All of these people are here to see the Sun King.
Yes, and each has come to ask a favor of him. Unpleasant, but that's politics. The Sun King is eager to meet you, the machine tamer with a curious eye for detail. It's all very intriguing.
That's what they're calling
I'm not
me?
here to intrigue you.
Too late.
The machine tamer with a curious eye for detail?
And now Outlanders
It's literally the
from
best we could do.
Sun King haven't heard.
It's pretty accurate.
Passed by some
I'll take
Outlander
it.
woman? Unacceptable.
They're all pissed.
I've been here for 2 hours, and Miss Nora goes to the front of the line.
I am so sorry, but as you can tell, I'm being
Ignore
asked
them.
to come here.
Nobles are like children who whine when they don't get a second helping of dessert.
Okay.
What's the Sun King like?
The most important thing is what he isn't like. His father. I
That's
think
good.
you'll find him to be a reasonable man.
Oh, wait. The book.
Aloy of the Nora. She who sees the unseen. Welcome. It would seem you have done me a great service. Erend, tell her what you found.
I checked Ursa's tomb. You were right, Aloy. The body is missing a scar below her right knee. I gave it to Ursa when we were kids, fighting over a toy sword.
If the body is not Ursa's, then we must assume she is still alive. And I will not abandon her.
We only know she was taken, not who took her.
I can help with that. Ursa has an enemy among the Oseram. A warlord named Dervahl.
Impossible. Every clan in the claim has been hunting for him since the liberation. He has to be dead by now.
No other Oseram had the motive and ingenuity to lure Ursa into this trap. I expect to find him lurking somewhere near the border. I've already sent an agent to investigate. He'll be waiting for word from us at the marketplace in Pitchcliff.
I can't move troops to the border without provoking the Oseram. But I could send a few vanguardsmen. And perhaps an exceptionally gifted Nora as well.
Are we being
Erend,
charmed?
Murad, let me discuss it with her privately. I hate to impose further after all you've done, but this is a matter of great importance to me.
It sounds like Ursa means a lot to you.
Without her Oseram vanguard, I would not have been able to liberate Meridian and end my father's brutal reign. Since then, it has been difficult to maintain
Maybe there's more there.
peace between our tribes. But Ursa has a way of making her people see reason. So you see, I need her back at my side. And quickly.
Who is Dervahl exactly?
To understand Dervahl, you must first understand my father. He truly thought of himself as a sun god.
Yeah, so I've noticed.
His mind was broken. He believed that blood sacrifice would solve, well, everything. So he raided the other tribes for victims, especially the Oseram. Dervahl fought back. He crafted powerful weapons and rallied his people. My father responded with the ultimate cruelty. He captured Dervahl's wife and daughter and sacrificed them in the Sun Ring.
Okay.
So, why would Dervahl go to so much trouble to kidnap Ursa?
He felt she betrayed him. She fought by his side until she realized he planned to raise Meridian and butcher its people. And she came to me. Together, we stopped him and liberated the city from my father. Dervahl has spent every moment since trying to get revenge. Mostly on the other Oseram who fought with us. He made so many powerful enemies, I thought we'd seen the last of him. I was wrong.
Now, to be fair, this is our best guess. This is not a guarantee that it's this person, but this is the best guess.
I'd like to ask you something about the Sundom and its politics.
By all means.
They call you a sun god who killed his own father in order to unite the tribes in harmony. Is any of it true?
They say you can see the invisible, split an arrow at 50 paces, and tame machines at a glance. How much of that is true?
It's not too far off.
Well,
Slight exaggerations.
I would like to unite the tribes in harmony, but you saw how many courtiers I have to deal with first. Maybe next week.
Quite a place you've got here. You can almost see the little people below the mesa.
You don't approve? Well, I have a secret for you. Neither do I. But we must be patient. Change won't come in a single sunrise.
But will it happen at all, while men live in palaces?
It might. Eventually. If people like you help me bring it about.
He is smooth.
Your politics seem very complicated. The Oseram are friends, but enemies too?
I couldn't have liberated Meridian without the help of Ursa and her Oseram freebooters. Many of them have settled here.
Yeah, that
But
complicates
the
things.
Ealdormen of the Oseram clans and the Claim have become jealous of their success. So have many Karja nobles. It's a volatile situation, especially given the fact that my father raided the Oseram for years. Ursa helps keep the peace, promising a future based on mutual gain. But some, like Dervahl, will never let go of their venom.
What can you tell me about the Shadow Karja? What do they have to do with Ursa?
They are remnants of my father's regime, holding out at the fortress of Sunfall to the west. Like him, they care only for domination, and seek to draw upon the power of the sun by spilling blood in its name. Since Ursa helped me take this city from them, they were perfect scapegoats. Dervahl knew this, of course, and planned it well.
I mean, it was very thorough. Like that plan, they had to, first of all, get her attention out there. Set up this machine, or whatever it was, this weapon. Make sure that they could contain everybody that went up there. And then they tried to make it look like something else. Like,
I need to get going.
it was obviously
I know.
thought through.
Well, they say kings should never beg. But please, help me find Ursa.
Who says that?
Well, Murad, for one. Don't hesitate to ask him or Erend if you have further questions.
Okay. Okay. Now, if you don't mind, not that he knows I'm going to do this. Founding of Meridian. The founding of Meridian. We are Karja. In us is the blood of those led by Ahriman from the persecution and pursuit not so long ago. Or sorry, so long ago. Out of the far savage east we came, guardians of the of a treasure greater than land or metal, the leaves of the old ones. Ahriman found the leaves in a ruin, packed out by a beam of sunlight, and he recognized at once their importance. Within was etched the first teachings of how to observe the sun, to recognize its guidance, and to understand the place of man. From out of the leaves came the first glyphs, the first writing, so our knowledge could last longer than voices. But when our forefathers offered to share this gift, they were driven out by those they had once called tribesfolk. These ones feared to have the light of knowledge brought to bear on their ignorance, or were jealous of its power. And so began the long wandering of our people, trusting only that the sun would guide them and deliver them from the barbarian tribes. The path was hard and marked by the stones of families who fell along the wayside, even Ahriman's own. Persecution was unceasing from those without purpose, only the desire to debase and destroy. But the faith of the Karja was rewarded with a distant vision, a tower like a solid ray of the sun holding on the horizon, flashing. Even as their enemies descended upon them, Ahriman followed the flight of the Glinthawks, leading his people through looming canyons and teeming jungles. Again they saw the tower. So close now it seemed to reach the very sun itself, and they saw that the Glinthawks perched upon it. Beheld in the light of the sun, the tower, the spire, cast its long shadow upon a mesa across the verdant valley. Ahriman knew that he had found a haven for the tribe, as this was a place shunned by those without his faith, who cowered from the magnificence of the spire, or the shining feathers of the Glinthawks. He named this place Meridian, from a passage in the leaves, and the tribe settled in the protection of the great mesa. They found the site was blessed in every respect, carving their cliff houses from the bounteous resources, and in time from the red rock of the mesa itself, crowning it with the first columns of the City of the Sun. Truly the sun gave much to the descendants of our forefathers, granting Meridian great harvests and prosperity, and the bounds of the Sundom as far as its light touched. In time, seeing Meridian shielded from the dark arrows and plots of our foes, other foreigners brought trade and tribute. Holy Meridian, without spire and sun, there would be no Meridian. But now and forevermore it stands as monument to both, and the glory of Ahriman and the founders is reflected anew in each Sun King of the Radiant line and the noble houses of the Sun Court. It's cool. I feel like a bit of a Moses comparison there, but admittedly I'm not too amazing at Bible knowledge.
Aloy, how can I be of service?
It's obvious that you're an advisor to the Sun King, but what is it you do exactly?
Whatever is needed, of course.
Are you always so evasive?
It depends.
I have a weird feeling about this guy, I'm not gonna lie.
You were right about Avad. He seems genuine.
He is the Sun King. I serve him the best I can. What else would you have me say?
Huh. Did you serve the last one as best you could too?
Well, I served him to his enemies. It was the best I could do for the Sundom.
What did you do?
Nothing I could be blamed for.
What does that tell us then?
Sounds to me like you're a spy.
There are many helpful voices in the Sundom and beyond. I like to think of myself as a good listener.
Mm-hmm. Why do they call you
so
blameless?
Why do they call you Blameless Maraude?
Like, that's the sketchy
it depends on who you mean by they, and what they might wish to blame me for.
Talking to you is tiring.
So they say.
Speaks in riddles.
What will I find at the border?
An outpost full of Oseram, most of whom want nothing to do with Dervahl. Still, he inspires great loyalty in those who fought with him against the last Sun King. He will not be caught alone. And don't forget, he is a master craftsman. Nothing delights him more than his dangerous toys.
You know there's a face-off coming.
What makes you so sure Dervahl did this to Ursa?
I don't care for sure or certain. I prefer likely or probably. How many Oseram are clever enough for this ruse? Capable of building the weapon you describe? Who hate Ursa so? More than one? Not likely. Dervahl? Quite probably.
Even if people think he's dead?
That is surely another reason to be suspicious of certain words.
Definitely sketchy.
I have to go.
Then you must.
Yeah, I don't know about him.
So, I thought Ursa was dead, and I thought Dervahl was dead. Dead doesn't seem to mean what it used to. Or maybe I'm just an ass. Whatever. All I know is that it's time to find my sister and get some payback. I hope Murad's guy grabs us a lead.
Did Ursa ever tell you anything about Dervahl?
We were both under his command for a while. Sort of. Helped him recruit an army to take out the mad Sun King. But then he got real creepy with Ursa. Needless to say, she wasn't interested, but he wouldn't let it go. Not to mention the fact that we realized he wanted to murder every Karja, not just the bad ones.
Probably a
Long
good
story
call on her
short,
part.
he's a grazer-licking dungbag.
Avad seems committed to finding your sister.
Yeah, those two got along. And some people say they shacked up, but
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
seems a little skinny for her.
He's in denial.
Oh, okay, some bad images are forming in my head. Let's just focus on finding her. And kicking Dervahl's ass.
Okay, we could do this.
I'd better go.
Don't stand me up in Pitchcliff, okay? Ursa needs us.
You got it. All right, so that's quite a ways away. I do want to go to the Hunter's Lodge while we're in the city. And then there's a few other things I'd like to clear up before we jump into what they're asking of us. See, guys, I was quick. I didn't even hold you up that long.
Kids are always running around playing by the noble market.
To the lodge.
Everyone needs a splash of color in their lives. Come, let's talk it over.
I'm good, thanks. I'm gonna go and have to talk to my favorite person. Sis.
Talana, always a pleasure. I see you've brought your pet.
Literally right in front of
Greetings,
you.
Sunhawk. I hereby sponsor Aloy of the Nora for membership in the Hunter's Lodge.
No. Look at her. She's lowborn, a savage. This is beneath even you, Talana.
She has fulfilled the requirements, and Sun King Avad decreed the lodge should be open to all. Would you like to take it up with him?
The word of the Sun King is indeed law. Even though it will bring ruin to the lodge, so be it. Do you, Aloy of the Nora, pledge to act rightly and nobly when in service to the lodge all the days to follow?
I do.
Members of the lodge, even though Tarkus is barely cold, I present to you Aloy of the Nora. Member and Thrush, what say you all?
To the hunt!
Sponsoring
Literally
an
one person.
outlander. While you make meaningless gestures, I'll be finding Red Maw.
We'll see. We shall see.
This is a good day.
I know why I hate Assis. Why do you?
My family has always boasted members in the lodge. My father and brother were both hawks. Assis let their sacrifice be forgotten.
What sacrifice?
They died in a massacre. They should be honored as hawks. Instead, Assis will not let anyone mention it.
Of course he won't.
How did your family come to be members of the lodge?
Karja noble houses have sent sons to the lodge for generations. Because they needed another place to lord over the commoners. I want to change that. The idea that someone is worthy or not by virtue of birth alone. Everyone thinks they have me pegged as soon as they hear Talana Khan Padish. I hate that.
I understand. My whole life I lived as an outcast from the Nora. They would have been the first to say I wasn't one of them. Yet as soon as I leave the sacred lands, everyone calls me Aloy of the Nora. It should be Aloy despite the Nora.
I didn't know.
Wow.
I'll remember
That's
that.
so true. That's very powerful.
What happened in the massacre?
King Jiran's paranoia knew no bounds. He sent thousands of innocents to die in the Sun Ring. When the Hawks of the Lodge called for him to stop the slaughter, he threw them in the ring too.
Jeez.
Yet when the machines attacked the condemned, more Hawks leapt into the ring to defend them. And my father and brother were among them.
It's pretty brave.
I'm so sorry. What happened to the men in the Sun Ring?
They died fighting. If you wish to hear the story, Legan can tell it better. He saw it with his own eyes. I did not.
We'll talk to Legan then.
The morning of the massacre, my father told me to meet him outside the city. He told me they were planning an escape. I waited for hours until a message came from my father. I had to leave the city. So I fled when I should have fought by his side.
He didn't want you to die with them.
Nor would he want their names forgotten. Especially by the man who benefited most from their deaths, Assis.
Okay, well, if we can deal with this Red Maw.
What's Red Maw?
Few have seen it. A thunderjaw marked by years of battle. Some say it still bears the marks of over a dozen hunters on its flank. How many it has trampled along the way, we may never know. When members go hunting and never return, we often blame Red Maw. But to me, it's more than legend. It's the only machine that will unseat Assis. My sponsor nearly had it, but he didn't make it.
I'm sorry.
Tarkus sponsored me out of loyalty to my family. He was my last link to them, besides the lodge itself. I have to unseat Assis.
So, when can you send me to the Red Maw?
Now that you're a Thrush, you should improve your reputation. Why don't you hunt down a Thunderjaw and a Stormbird?
You got it.
You want me to go trophy hunting?
You're not just any Thrush. You're mine. And you better make me look good.
But what about Red Maw?
I will
Probably
find
have to work
him.
up to that.
And when I do, I expect you to be there.
I'm down. I am totally 100% game to do this. Where's... Oh, hello. We've got something back here, too. Finding all sorts of things lately. Legendary hunts. Legendary hunts of the Lodge. In the summer of the 4th year of the reign of the Sun King Marzid, did Farukawas, Sun Hawk of the Lodge, behold a herd of grazers so vast that it filled entire the vale below the far back. His bow was a harp that day, strumming the melody of the hunt from noon to twilight, after one could not walk a single step across the glen without tripping on an antler of the fallen. It took all 7 hawks and all 7 thrushes to gather the trophies, and with the bounty from their barter, the last wing of the lodge was raised. In the winter of the 7th year of the reign of the Sun King, Hivas did Darusiv, Hawk of the Lodge, stalk a herd of tramplers from Sand Whisper Valley to the foothills of the Pale Reach. Bombs from his sling fell as hailstones, freezing his prey and the waters upon the ford, while the others stood as statues in ice. Hivas set upon the largest, driving his spear between his plates and taking his trophy before the rest could even stir. It's cool that you have some little, like, strategic components on how to handle the machines that they're talking about. In the spring of the 3rd year of the reign of the Sun King Jiran, as the machines of the wilds grew even more deranged, did Kuvam, Hawk of the Lodge, answer the call from the prefect at Daytower to slay the mysterious creature who ripped his best cohort limb from limb. 4 days and 4 nights he tracked his quarry through the savage east before the brute was revealed, strong as a snapjaw, fast as a strider. From twilight to midnight, the battle raged, but Kuvam prevailed at great cost, his left arm chewed ragged at the joint. Thus he named the beast Sawtooth, as he took his trophy from its shattered remains. In the autumn of the 8th year of the reign of the Sun King Jiran, as the machines of the wilds grew even more deranged, did Galadid, Hawk of the Lodge, follow the shimmering death haunting the southern freehold into the jungles of the Jewel. Under that tangled canopy, the hunter became the hunted, glimpsing in the shadows more of the eerie lights, till he was surrounded by machines he named stalkers. Long was his flight through the undergrowth to the safety of the Elite, but along the way he turned his bow to his pursuers, and became the first to snare a trophy from that which walks in glinting shadow. In the summer of the 13th year of the reign of the Sun King Jiran, as the machines of the wild grew even more deranged, did Assis, here we go, Hawk of the Lodge, dare to tread the path of broken trees, following the wake of the terrible thing that laid waste to the freehold of morning light. and he was the first to face the might of the Thunderjaw, greatest of machines that walk the earth. With spear, bomb, and arrow, brave Assis fought to no avail, and the only triumph by turning the Terror's own cannons against it. The carcass of the beast now hangs in the lodge for all to see, so enshrined because its fall turned hawk to Sunhawk. Cool. That's actually really interesting to hear that stuff. So this is the... Is this the thing? It'd be interesting if we could still scan it. Where's Legan? Is he at the... Legan's at the front, I think. And let's talk to her as well.
What can I do for you today?
What do you want with my marks?
You hunters and your badges. I'm not gonna yeah, I thought that'd get your attention. I can give you
Okay, so yeah, we have to go and do the
How
trials.
I'm a little no problem.
I heard you have a story for me.
In one day makes a hawk proud.
Who's the other thrush?
Who else just became a thrush?
Arctic. I see him rising to the top very quickly. He reminds me of myself at his age.
What will you say when I bring in a Thunderjaw trophy?
That's a wonderful goal. Perhaps you can have Arctic give you some tips.
What a prick.
Do you know where Red Maw is?
I do not. Rumor of it spreads quickly within the lodge. As soon as it is spotted, it disappears again.
Can you tell me what happened during the massacre?
Terrible time. King Jiran purged loyal subjects and traitors alike throughout the Sundom. He even called out members of our lodge.
Why?
Some spoke out against the killing. And when the soldiers came for them, we all objected. And for that crime, those who were not arrested were forced to watch our comrades murdered in the Sun Ring. I shouldn't say more.
Well, come on.
Please, tell me what happened that day in the Sun Ring.
Normally, victims of the Sun Ring fell within minutes as the crowd cheered their deaths. But not with our hawks. They stood alone against wave after wave of machines. Hours passed, the men taking turns fighting as the others rested. The crowd's mood turned, rallying around our men. Some of them left, their bloodlust unsated. We members stayed and watched till nightfall.
What happened in the Sun Ring at nightfall?
The sun had set, and only firelight and the glow from the machines lit the ring. It was then the court released a behemoth. Several hawks at once jumped into the ring to fight alongside the condemned. They had snuck in their weapons. I wish I had as well. The machine didn't discriminate. It crashed into the stand, devastating spectator and fighter alike. It was a slaughter.
How did it stop then?
How did the battle in the Sun Ring come to an end?
Talana's father climbed atop a behemoth and with one well-placed spear destroyed it, just as a second knocked him to his death.
Oh.
Her brother and the others fought this second behemoth, falling one by one as they put themselves between the beast and the stands. And so we and the spectators were saved. Those who had once cheered for their deaths thanked the dying men for their very lives.
What a brave end. And how terrible that no one speaks of it.
How Roman of you guys.
I must say I'm surprised by your achievements. Bringing in a stalker already.
Save your surprise. I'm just getting started.
I don't like that we feel we have to, like, prove it to this guy. But, we're gonna show him who's boss. Okay, I'm gonna take a break here. When we come back, we will, where do we want to go from here? Stormbirds, maybe. We could find Stormbirds elsewhere too, I'm sure. I do want to do some of the hunter stuff, but what I'm thinking is, there's the ancient armory. This is interesting to me. This Banuk camp out to the east, and I'm thinking of maybe going there. I think that could be kind of interesting. Maybe what I'll do is let's quickly return to the traders while we're here. Give them those things that they were asking for. And then we'll head out. I think we'll go to that Banuk camp place. be awesome if we could rappel off of here, but...
Dear, that outfit's an eyesore.
Did he just say what I think he said? What a prick. So yeah, then we'll go out to that Banuk area. Then we'll continue with everything else we have to do. Keep looking for Ursa. We also have to go and find that image of the woman that looks like us. She is way to the north. So we could make our way up there. Lots to do. Tempting. Pretty amazing what they've done with this city, to be honest. Like, even just having the ingenuity to build these elevators. I don't notice the chains moving, but I think that's what they're attached to. They kind of hover over into the middle of the city.
Machines or bandits directly past me are on the fight. Mark my words.
Everybody's a tough guy.
Hunters, scroungers, bring us your metal.
I have both your parts.
I brought you both the parts. So, what do you say?
I don't suppose I could buy just the one.
Are you kidding me?
You'd buy the wrong one. So give the hunter her shards for both.
Of course, of course. Here you are. If this is the price I have to pay.
It is.
Price you have to pay. The Snapmaw lens might just cover the loss we take on the other.
It won't sell for a loss, charcoal burner. You'd pay handsomely for a long-leg lens if you had an imagination.
I have an imagination. When you rattle that piece of junk around, I think of your skull.
I told you from the beginning this wouldn't be a scrap-dealing operation, that we would have class.
And I told you, a true metal seller knows to get his hands dirty.
As you wipe machine oil on my silks.
Who wears a silk apron to the metal markets?
I do.
Clearly.
They just keep going.
Yes, they do.
I told you from the beginning this wouldn't be a scrap-dealing
Oh, boy.
operation, that we would have class.
How do we get out of here now? Do we have like a dock?
I do.
Can I get in here? Are you kidding? Does anybody consider what would happen if somebody were to fall in here? You know what? I don't need this Meridian village. I'll take the island and be done with it. Okay, I'm taking a break anyways, and when we come back, we'll do all those things that I said we were gonna do. So, wish me luck, guys. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Can't be too prepared.
Bye-bye.